Shortly after the announcement, Atkinson tweeted and deleted why he was unable to play in today's game, but the news caught on much faster than he could press erase. Police are investigating right now. There was a man shot in the leg, and as you can see, these snow mounds are huge. They literally tower over me as big as a building, but they can't get the snow here until they address other problems on the road. And along with proper diet and exercise, doctors say that the best thing that you can do for your mental health this season. All the power to those homes were restored at 1, except for this intersection on State Road 23 in Edison that I'm standing in front of right now. I'm going to step behind the camera and show you the traffic that is lining this road right now, and it is not good for drivers. And all you do is place it on your tire and immediately tells you what your pressure is at. That 1 mile was definitely not an easy one with the freezing temperatures and snow falling down pretty much the entire time. This home, since they're so used to it, they're starting to measure year after year how high the river will get, and with the snowfall, it has gotten up to this level, and I'm about 5'8". These garbage cans are overflowing with trash, and these are not the only cans in this neighborhood that look like this. You can take home one of these cats, and they are already spayed and neutered. Fans are now going into the stadium for the game starting in just a few minutes. I took this measuring stick across Michiana today. His driveway was all the way up to this level, so he had to make sure he snow plowed that out himself to be able to get himself out. But in the meantime, the Sheriff's Department recommends before hitting the roads, take the time to fill up the gas in your car, and a bag of extra clothing should always be ready to go. I spent the day with 2 families that were affected by the tornadoes. One still has their home. The other are the Gatlins, whose home is right behind me. And what you see of their house is a roof missing, walls torn down, and the house is just left in pieces. And this Thanksgiving, the Gatlins say that they are thankful to just be alive.
My 16th birthday. Turned 16 in this house.
After the tornadoes that swept through Kokomo less than 2 weeks ago, Drez Gatlin's house is in pieces. All he has now are the memories he shared inside it.
This is my room, right here.
And these are all your things?
Yeah, some of it, most of it.
This is the kitchen the Gatlin family would have gathered to give thanks this year. Obviously, they can't do that, but this Thanksgiving, they say they have a lot more to be thankful for than ever before.
Thankful to be alive.
The 2 tornadoes that tore through this town destroyed house after house. Windows shattered, roofs missing, trees in homes, a community left with little standing.
Different. It's changed. And no more trees. It's just plain now.
Right next door to the Gatlins' broken home, the Johnson family prepares their Thanksgiving meal. Hannah Johnson has lived in this neighborhood her entire life.
That this is where I've grown up, and one storm came through and it kind of destroyed parts of it.
But when she looks next door, she knows she's lucky to have a roof over her head this Thanksgiving.
I'm thankful that our house is still livable and that it's not as bad and we're still making everything.
Well, Grounds' family has been desperate to find Isaiah, so today they brought out search and rescue dogs to the scene where Isaiah was last seen at, and they took those dogs to this massive field behind me to find any clues of Isaiah's disappearance. Canines from Michigan's search and rescue team took to the snowy fields of Groverton, where Isaiah Grounds was last seen. It is her dog, Andor, who does a lot of the work.
Good boy. Our mission is to help find missing people and recover those deceased.
Dogs like Andor are trained to find human remains.
Hopefully today the dogs find nothing.
Grounds has been missing for almost 2 weeks. He disappeared after his car was found late one night full of blood. The Stark County Sheriff's Department has been searching, but they are asking for help now too from Michigan's Cass County and its canine team. Nellie, a 1-year-old bloodhound, is ranked among the nation's best search and rescue dogs.
We have a bloodhound out here that would track the scent of the what we believe the area where Isaiah Grounds might have walked.
Grounds' sister stood close by as the dogs and investigators did their work today, waiting for any word on her missing brother.
We have received a lot of tips, but obviously none of them have panned out to find Mr. Grounds. We certainly would want to locate him to bring him back.
It's good for a little ice fishing, and the fishermen I was with today say that it's all because of this year's very early winter weather. Ice fishermen welcome this winter's cold temps.
Compared to the last few years, this is a really early ice fishing season. Normally we don't get out until just after New Year's or right around New Year's.
Edward Hanson likes to throw his line in on Eagle Lake.
You got fish coming in right now, see them?
He's been ice fishing here all his life, but before he puts his line in the water.
You got it. So what kind of fish is this one?
This is a crappie.
He has to make sure the ice is right.
About a week ago, before we got that warm spell, a couple people got out here, but it wasn't real safe at that point in time. Around Monday or Tuesday, when it started getting really cold again, it got safe.
5 inches on Eagle Lake today, Ed was clear to fish.
Let's see if we can find some fish.
Winning the battle against the bitter cold, though, is the only way to get through a long day on the lake.
Wear as much clothing to block against this cold wind as you possibly can.
With an easy up shanty, Ed can stay out for hours.
Look how much warmer it is now compared to standing out there on the ice.
And the right gear could save you if you ever do break through.
Always wear your cleats, have your spikes. I got some ice picks here, that way if you fall through the ice, you pop them out real quick and start jamming them in the ice and pulling yourself out. Because once you fall through the ice is going to be slippery, your hands are going to be cold and wet, you ain't going to be able to grip onto anything, so these are what give you the traction.
And coming up at 6, I will tell you why it's so important to test this ice before you step out on the lake. Reporting live in Edwardsburg, Amanda Starrantino, ABC 57 News.
In honor of Rochelle's memory and in support of Joe, we ask that you join us in a moment of silence.
A sophomore at Indiana University of South Bend, Joe GODFREAD stood along his teammates just days after his mother, Rochelle, was tragically killed in Elkhart's Martin supermarket. Joe's older brother, Michael GODFREAD, stood close by in support of his family.
I just know that she would want my brother here playing in school. My mother was the most loving, caring, vibrant person in the world, and she was our whole life.
The decision to play today was a difficult one for the GODFREAD brothers.
He told me he wanted to play, and we both thought it was a good idea. He needed something to do at this time, and just as a reprieve. Basketball has always been a reprieve for us to get away from the world, and this is how he would remain strong in this troubled time.
And within seconds of getting into the game, GODFREAD number 54 scored for his team.
Number 54, Joe GODFREAD.
She was our number one fan. She was always with us. She was at all of my games growing up and always at all of Joe's. We were the only thing in her world, and my only wish is that we could have done more for her.